At Stand With Us, we know that education is the road to peace, and one of our key goals is to ensure that the internationally recognized definition of anti-Semitism is adopted as widely as possible. To teach us more, please welcome Stand With Us Assistant Director of Campus Strategy and Research, Elisa Alul.
Hi, everyone. My name is Elisa Alul, and I am the Assistant Director of Campus Strategy here at Stand With Us. And I have the pleasure of working with our amazing students from around the world. And today, our students are working tirelessly to educate their peers about the anti-Semitism they face and how they can support the Jewish community by learning to better identify and respond to anti-Semitism when it occurs. Jewish and Zionist students understand that without a clear and concise definition of anti-Semitism, it will be difficult to identify and combat, thereby allowing it to spread unchecked. Therefore, one major way our students have been educating their peers and combating anti-Semitism on campus is by working with their schools to adopt the consensus-driven International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, IHRA, working definition of anti-Semitism. Although at times our students have faced pushback with efforts to deny their lived experiences with anti-Semitism, they have stood strong in the face of adversity, and we've been proud to support them along the way. To help them counter such pushback and successfully educate their campus communities about anti-Jewish bigotry, we have teamed up with the International Legal Forum to launch a student-facing campaign in support of the IHRA definition called Students for IHRA. With our students leading the charge, this inspiring grassroots student campaign will invite students from around the world to pledge support for the IHRA definition, spread that support for the IHRA definition far and wide online and on campus, and will provide access to a plethora of resources to help them in their efforts to educate about anti-Semitism and encourage their schools to adopt the consensus definition of anti-Semitism, the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism. And I am so pleased to share that Students for IHRA launches tomorrow. So if you are a student, please join us in uniting to define anti-Semitism as a student for IHRA by signing the Unity Statement at studentsforihra.org and contributing to the social media campaign via the site's multimedia page. And if you're a member of the community, visit studentsforihra.org and follow along with our students' journeys. It all starts here with the sneak peek to the campaign launch video, which will go live tomorrow. Now, without further ado, I introduce you to Students for IHRA.
Anti-Semitism is rising around the world at a disturbing rate.
After anti-Semitic attacks in those cities, there has been a troubling rise in such incidents ever since the fighting broke out in the Middle East.
In the latest anti-Semitic attack in New York City, a recent wave of assault.
In recent years, Jews have been murdered, synagogues vandalized, and students ostracized from the social fabric on campus.
Over the past year, we saw classical anti-Semitism play out when Jews around the world were accused of causing and spreading COVID-19, reminiscent of scapegoating for the Black Plague in the medieval ages.
More recently, we saw how anti-Zionism crossed the line into anti-Semitism. When Jews were attacked in the streets of major global cities
in the name of anti-Israel activism at the height of the latest conflict between Israel and the terrorist group Hamas.
A lot of this anti-Semitism comes from misinformation about Israel, Jews, and anti-Semitism on campus, in the community, and online.
Plus, many people are so oblivious to anti-Semitism they often miss it, which allows this misinformation to spread and causes anti-Semitism to rise.
So how can we turn things around?
It all starts with education and explicitly defining anti-Semitism for what it is. We need a clear and specific definition of anti-Semitism to help us name, identify, respond to, and combat anti-Semitism, especially how it manifests today.
The International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance working definition of anti-Semitism does just that.
As Jewish students studying at universities around the world, the IHRA working definition of anti-Semitism represents our voices and lived experiences.
This definition reflects the many different forms of anti-Semitism we face across the political spectrum, empowering us to more effectively identify and respond to this hate. That is why its text is considered the gold standard
and has been adopted or endorsed by many prominent Jewish organizations, over 30 countries to date, as well as other respected institutions. Together, we are saying loud and clear, the IHRA definition speaks for us.
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 Together, we are students for IHRA, working to define anti-Semitism in the movement to eradicate it.
Does the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism speak for you too? Join us by going to studentsforihra.org and signing the campaign's unity statement.